Welcome back to the channel. I just picked up the Pixel 9 Pro XL in black. I did want one of the other colors, but this is all they had, and I really wanted to get my hands on this. And so in this video today, I'm going to discuss whether the Pixel 9 Pro XL, is it enough to get me to break away from the Apple ecosystem? So stay tuned, let's chat. Something else I wanted to talk to you guys about was some meaningful AI features that are packed into this phone, the Pixel 9 series, that I think aren't just gimmicks, they're actually meaningful AI features. So I'll talk about that in just a bit. So yesterday, Android 15 just dropped on the Pixel 9 series. I just downloaded it and I'm checking out some of the new features. And the Pixel 9 series is the first Android phone to get Android 15. Some of the new features that Android 15 has that I'm interested in are a home control screensaver where you can control your home smart devices. Another one is called private space, and that's similar to what iOS 18 released, where you could hide certain apps out of view. So you can do that also on iOS 18 now. You could hide apps. It's called private space. There's also a new theft detection feature. So the phone will now use AI. I think this is one of those AI meaningful features, not just a gimmicky feature, where it'll detect if the phone is snatched out of your hand. I actually had one of my good friends, they were visiting Thailand and they were on their phone walking down a street and someone came along on a scooter or motorcycle and snatched the phone away from them. They never saw their phone again. And so what this new feature will do is, using AI, it'll detect whether it was snatched out of your hand and it will automatically lock itself. And then you could also use a remote locking feature where you go to android.com/lock, I believe, and you could remotely lock your phone. This phone feels, I don't want to say just a level above, it's 2 levels, maybe more than 2 levels. It feels way ahead of other Android devices. I have the S24 Plus here, and with this S24 Plus, I mean, yes, it's a very nice phone, but once I got the Pixel 9 Pro XL, turned it on, and just holding it, it just feels so much more premium. I know that Samsung's UI has the One UI that's, you know, plastered on top of the Android system. I'm not a big fan. I really like what many call the vanilla of the Pixel 9, the vanilla version of Android, how it's meant to be. And I've also played around with the Motorola Razr Plus, the 2024 version, the latest version, and this just has a leg up on all the other Android devices I've played around with. The other day, I even had, I was going through the Starbucks drive-thru and the Starbucks employee asked me, oh, is that the new iPhone? And so I think everyone can agree, or I think many people, I won't say everyone, many people could agree that the iPhone is the premium phone. And, you know, forget about software, I'm just talking about hardware. You know, it feels nice, it looks nice, and I think, you know, to have someone else think this was the iPhone, I think that says a lot about this phone. But forget about what the Starbucks employee said. Just my own opinion, I think that it just feels really nice. It feels very premium. The glass, the texture, just how it looks and feels, it feels substantial. So if you're on the fence about this from a hardware perspective, go check it out at your local, you know, carrier store, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, whatever you're on. And I think you'll find that the Android is very surprising in a good way with how it presents itself. So let's talk a little bit about those AI features I was talking about. Again, meaningful AI features, not gimmicky. Now, Google's latest and greatest AI features come from what's called Gemini and also Gemini Advanced, which are already out compared to Apple Intelligence, in which some limited features will be released by the end of this month by Apple for their Apple Intelligence. And again, I'm filming this in mid-October of 2024. More Apple Intelligence features are expected to come out by the end of this year, but still not all the hyped features by Apple. They're not all gonna be out this year, and some Apple Intelligence features still won't be available until next year. And even then, many of the features are only going to be available in the US at first. So getting back to Google's Gemini, I've played with Google's Gemini and compared it against ChatGPT and it is amazing. My Pixel 9 Pro XL, it comes with 1 free year of Gemini Advanced, which is even more capable than just the regular old Gemini. I even asked it to give me pointers for this YouTube video, and it was like some pro YouTuber giving me pointers for this video. It's almost unbelievable what this phone can do with its AI features, such as Gemini. And keep watching for more meaningful AI features that aren't just gimmicks, but meaningful. So let's talk about the likes of this phone and Android 14 and 15. This phone has a fingerprint scanner. Apple's phones don't have that, where you just put your thumb here and it opens. It's super fast. You just saw it. I just place it on there. I don't have to hold it. It has to read. Many of the very first Android phones that had a fingerprint scanner, you had to hold it, maybe try it a couple times. There's a little finicky. And you just saw a minute ago, I put my thumb on it and it opened right away. There it is again. Now, I actually prefer Face ID, maybe because I just got used to it. So if I was someone who never used a smartphone and is picking up a smartphone for the first time, I'm not sure what I'd prefer in that case. You know, if I'm sitting or chilling in a weird position, I don't have to bring the phone or move my face to the phone to make it unlock. So that is a pro to using the fingerprint scanner, is I don't have to move my face around or anything like that. So that's a pro for the fingerprint scanner. To me, I think I'm on the fence between the two. You know, if I had to give it to one of them, I couldn't on this. So let's just call it a tie. Now, Google Gemini, as I just mentioned, is the competitor to the upcoming Apple Intelligence. Google Gemini already has the features that Apple Intelligence will have later this year and next year. You know, just to reiterate, Google Gemini is it's nuts. It's like there's a person on the other end talking back with me. I'm hoping Apple Intelligence is this good, because Gemini is the AI to beat right now. One thing I noticed, comment below if I'm wrong, but I don't think that this has the eye engagement feature where the screen will stay on if it detects I'm looking at it. I know the iPhone has that, so if I'm looking at my iPhone and it detects I'm looking at it, it won't go into sleep mode. I don't think this has it, but if I'm wrong, let me know. Like right now, I'm looking at the phone and it just went to sleep. Something else I really like is that on the home screen of the Pixel 9 series, it'll show the weather at the top left. It'll show the date and the weather. And it's just unobtrusive. It's almost like built in. It doesn't even seem like it's a widget. I like the haptic feedback on the keyboard better on the Pixel. It feels more tight, if that makes sense. When I'm typing, it's just a tight haptic feedback, and it feels more accurate. I don't know how else to put it. It's just more tight and accurate, and I like it more than on iOS. Another pro that I like from the Android, especially on this Pixel 9 Pro XL, is it's just way more customizable, even after the iOS 18 update that just came out last month. For example, there's so much more customization with the keyboard and the buttons as well. Something else I really like is that it has seamless integration with my Google Home devices. I'm not an Alexa person. I actually have Google Home devices throughout my home, almost in every room. I have the Nest cameras, I have the Google speakers, I have the Nest doorbell. So I'm heavily into Google because I really like those devices. And so, for example, when I'm playing a song on one of my home devices, it shows up in my notification drawer on my Pixel 9. It'll just show up. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to try to go into the Google Home app to see what's playing. It just shows up. So, and I could control it. I could pause it, go to a next track. It's really nice and integrated. Or if I start a timer on my kitchen, I have a Google Hub Max in my kitchen. So if I start a timer on there for, let's say I have something in the oven, 30-minute timer, it'll show up in the notification drawer. It'll just be right there automatically. Now, does Siri do that between iOS and a HomePod? I don't think so, but if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But I don't think Siri and their HomePods are that integrated, or at least not yet. There's some phone features that I think blow away iOS. With Hold For Me, the phone will wait on hold for you and let you know when someone picks up. So if you're calling, an 800 number, whatever, and you're put on hold, the phone will let you know and alert you when someone's available. You don't have to just sit there waiting, which I think is pretty cool. Another feature is called flip to shh. So if you're getting a call, you just, or even without getting a call, if you turn your phone over, it puts it into do not disturb mode, which I think is pretty cool. Let's talk about the camera. I'm not going to get into the quality of the pictures that it takes, because there's like a billion videos on that on YouTube you could watch, but there's something I really want to talk about. It's called the Add Me feature, and it blows me away. I totally wish this was on the iPhone. And so this is great where, let's say my wife and I, let's say we're out somewhere and we want to take a picture of us both. And yes, you could do this, and she could be right here, and we could take a selfie. But let's say we want to get the whole picture. We're traveling. We want to get, both of us in the picture behind us. Well, this will use AI, and it'll stitch both of us together in the photo. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I'm going to take a picture of her first. Let's say, okay, wife, honey, go over there, and there's something in the background that's really cool, and I want to get this big, backdrop of behind her and her in it. So I'll take a picture, and then the phone will say, okay, pass the phone to the second person, in this case, my wife. So then I'll say, okay, to my wife, come on over here, let's swap out. She'll hold the phone just like I am now. I'll go, and the phone will show her where she was, and she could say, okay, Mike, move a little to your left, put your arm like this, as if your arm's around me, and take a picture. And I'm gonna throw a picture on the screen here I tested it out with my daughter, and it'll show me putting my arm around her like someone took a picture of us. But really, we were not together in this photo, which is amazing. So this picture is just her. I took a picture of her only, and then she came and took a picture of me. She told me where to stand, and it looks like someone took a picture of us together, but we were not. And so if only this was on iOS. This is such an awesome feature, one of the best features I think on any phone, Android or iOS. This is a killer feature. Now, another feature is the news feed, believe it or not. I actually think the news feed is more interesting and more catered to me than the Apple News widget. When you're on Android, your home screen, if you swipe to the right, so it moves left, that's where I have my news feed, and I think the stories on the news feed are just more tailored to me, more interesting, and much better than the Apple widget. Here's a couple of dislikes. There's way more likes than dislikes on this Pixel 9 Pro XL. Like, for example, the notifications. I'm not crazy about how Android, or at least on the Pixel 9 Pro XL, how it gets its notifications. When getting notification, and when I go into the app that has the notification is not cleared away, and it stays in the notification drawer. So, if I got, let's say, I use Canary Mail for my email app, both on Android and iOS, and even on my Mac. So if I look at my notifications and it says, oh, I have an email, I'll click on it, it'll bring up the Canary Mail app, I'll read my email, fine. And then I'll push the home button to go back to the main screen. But the email notification, and on some apps, it stays there when it shouldn't be. So I don't know. I don't know if that's maybe something I'm doing wrong. If it is something I'm doing wrong, then I would say then there's a lack of intuitiveness, because it shouldn't be staying right there on the app, the notification should not still be in your notification drawer if you clicked on it. So here's the big question: will I switch from Apple to Android? The answer is no, but not for the reasons you may think. So let me give you just a quick background. My wife has an iPhone, my kids have iOS devices. I can control my kids' screen time, and if they want more time, they hit a button and it asks me, Dad, can I have more time? And I could hit approve or reject. Or if they want to download a game or an app, it sends me a request, and I could say approve or reject. Since I'm on an iPhone, I could do that. I could say approve or reject. When I'm on my Android, it doesn't get those notifications, and I can't do that. I can't give them more time. I can't approve downloads. So that's one downside, and that's something that's locking me into the Apple ecosystem. Another example, my wife and I are connected on the Find Me feature, where if she wants me to meet her, let's say at a new coffee shop or wherever, she could just send me her location and I can navigate directly to where she is. Also, when I'm traveling, I use FaceTime to keep in touch with my family. So Android doesn't have FaceTime. Now, yes, in iOS 18, does it have a new feature where you can invite an Android user? Yes, it's a little cumbersome, but try to get my wife to do something outside the norm on her phone with the apps, ain't happening. Or with FaceTime, can my kids or my wife, can they download a different video meeting app or video chatting app like Google Meet? Yes, but to get them to download it, to set them up with an account, log them in, and get them to use it and learn a new app, it's not going to happen, especially for my wife. Maybe my kids, the older ones maybe. Regardless of all that, Android has come such a long way and has become so much more polished, both in terms of software and now, in my opinion, the hardware with the Pixel 9 series, that both Android and Apple's ecosystems, I would say, are now equal to me. They are dead equal to me. I don't think one is better than the other. I'm trying to give more points to one, and I just can't. They're equal. So here's two main reasons why I'm staying with Apple. As I mentioned, my family are all on iOS, and I wouldn't be able to handle certain things with my family if I switched to Android, like the approval and rejection of requests from my kids. Reason number two is I don't think Android is better than Apple. I don't think Apple's better than Android. And so I really look at them as equal in my book. Since Android is not pushing me over the edge as being better, why move? And so that's a second reason why I'm sticking right where I am, which is iOS. If I didn't have kids with any devices yet, where they're really little, like 1 year old or something, 2 years old, I might switch because this Pixel 9 Pro XL is so premium feeling. The AI features blow me away, like that camera feature and Gemini. The Gemini Advance I get a free year with. I just love the AI features packed inside and think Android has come such a long way in terms of polish. Yes, Android has had many more features than Apple's iOS for many years. I agree with that. Android has had way more features than Apple. But where Apple shines over many, many years and where they got me was with its polish. But now, with this Pixel 9 series, I think they're neck and neck. Hopefully I was able to give you some insight about Android's polishing, which I think is top notch now with iOS. And if you have any questions, I read all my comments. Feel free to comment below. And thanks for watching.